League round number 6. We are just going to give Jgr a second here. He just finished a 250 stream, so letting him get acclimated real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and post this stream link so everyone can tune in, and then we will be started shortly. Stay tuned. Alright, sorry about that. We got the stream link posted. Jgr is ready to go, so we're going to get this thing underway. Track for tonight is JGR Richland by Jgr. Super technical track, long lap times. Going to be super tough for these guys tonight. Going to create some good racing out there. A lot of good battles in the 250 motos earlier, so no doubt it'll be the same here tonight in the 450 class. Gonna give these guys just a second in case they need to change their settings over. Alright, we found that going quicker on that screen helps with the not lagging out. Hopefully we can get into this this race with no issues. Shire, what's up, my man? Congrats on the podium. You were riding great, dude. I was doing everything I could to try to catch you. Class is so stacked on the 250s this year. It's insane. So, good ride to you, and looking forward to the rest of the season, man. Okay, I swear I always have to mute myself and just pray that we get in. We are good to go. Looks like maybe a little bit of gloomy weather here at Richland. We've been expecting a potential rain race all year. This might just be it. This could really dice things up. We'll see what the conditions are like out there. Just a couple more seconds until these guys get their setups and we drop the gate here for round number 6. 450 class, here we go. Revs are up and the gates are down. It is raining. Who is it going to be? It's going to be anyone's race. It's going to be Velt with a hole shot here. Or no, who slides on the inside? That looks to be I'm Xerox. And we got 3 JGR Team Fried teammates out front. We do have Vivid filling in tonight to fill extra spots in the 450 class just to keep this racing exciting. So definitely has the speed. Vivid was P2 in the 250 class, so he's going to make things interesting tonight. Velt hanging back here. That's Dilute in the 4th place position now. Weavy, a new rider with us tonight, in 6th. Brennan Bros P7. Blaze Peanut 8th. And DC Balla 9th. Oh, and Samuel YZB. I did not realize these guys were stuck back here. Unfortunately, we are going to have to use our 1 restart here. I hate to do this and ruin the race for the guys that are out front, but Samuel was in this title hunt. Unfortunately, we are going to have to restart this thing. Bummer deal. That did not happen in the 250 class. We are going to get this thing started real quick, and we'll be back, guys. Sorry. Alright guys, we're back. Sorry about that. Hopefully this isn't an issue any further. There's apparently a restart, or a reset, excuse me, in that first turn. It looks like if you almost cut it a little bit too far inside, then it just kind of gives you that permanent reset. So hopefully it happens to nobody. Just keep an eye out. I would almost check up in that first turn. Try not to make too aggressive of a move. Yeah, we're going to get this thing started quickly. Yeah, what Saltman said, everyone just go outside and go slow. That would be nice. Oh, please tell me. Okay. Yeah, just do not go down in the first turn. If you're listening and racing in the 450 class, just be very careful, because we will not restart this one. So 1 restart per moto, per class. We will not restart this one regardless. Doesn't matter if 3 people were stuck there. That's just how it's going to go. So everyone just be careful into the first turn, settle in, and then start going at it. We're loading in here again. If you're just joining us on stream, track is Jgr Richland tonight by Jgr. Super technical track. Couple tough, tricky roller sections that'll catch you off guard. But nonetheless, gonna have a good 450 battle on our hands here. And we are in, and it looks like the conditions are rainy again, so it's almost destined to happen at this point. Just going to give these guys a couple seconds here. More rain. They're not stoked on it, but it is what it is. Gonna have to make it happen. Here we go, dropping the gate. 450 moto number 1 at Richland. Revs are up and gates are down. Gonna go on board with Dilute Tiger. Looks like he's gonna have the whole shot. Everyone kind of doing the right thing. Oh boy. Samuel again having some bad luck. Oh no. We cannot restart at this point. That is a bummer deal for Sam. You absolutely hate to see that. But he is the only one that is stuck. God, that's such a bummer. Sam was actually in this title hunt. But at the moment, it is going to be Jgr out front here in the rain at Richland. Saltman in third right now. Has some work to do to get up to the front. The rain is definitely going to make this a tighter race, so this is Xerx's chance to try to capitalize on a win here. Jgr Vivid running in fourth, so a good showing for the 250 guy, filling in the lobby for us tonight. Vivid second overall in the 250 class, so knows this track well, but it is quite different to adjust it on 450 lines. As you see there, kind of runs it in a little too hot into that turn. Oh, and Saltman goes down and Vivid gets reset. That's going to allow Dilute Tiger to get a good run here. Saltman did say he is terrible in the rain, or he feels at least worse in the rain. I don't think Saltman's ever terrible, but definitely not his type of conditions, as Dilute washes out and goes down, unfortunately. So Vivid is going to take over the 4th place position once again. It is Dilute Tiger back in 5th, Shooter holding it down in 6th. Dilute got reset. He falls back to 6th now. We got I don't know how you quite say his name, Strokesy in 7th, Blaze Peanut in 8th, DC Balla 9th, Weavy in 10th, and Brennan Bros 11th. I'm Xerox out front, has a pretty commanding lead over Velt at this point, but shout out to Velt. This would be his best moto finish of the season to this point, and I believe Velt is 5th in points. Saltman making up time on Velt now. Have no doubt he'll be up there. Vivid a little bit back now. Not sure if he made another mistake, but I will be interested to see what the lap times here are here at Richland when they are done with this one in the rain. I'd imagine it's going to look more like a 250 time, if anything. The track deformation will come into play, I think, later in this one with some of the lines getting a little slippery. So it's going to be interesting to see who can stay the most consistent, not make a lot of mistakes. Dilute Tiger back in 5th, trying to latch on to Vivid and see if he can't work his way a little bit closer to the front of the pack. Back to Shooter in 6th. So a good ride for Shooter here, making the pass for 5th. Will he take the line away? Oh, he does cut in front of Dilute there, but good pass, makes it stick. Strokesy still back in 7th. DC Balla 8th. Weavy now moves in the 8th place position, going to take advantage of a crash there. Balla falls back to 9th. Brennan Bros in 10th and Blaze Peanut 11th. So Brennan Bros now trying to make a couple passes on this group in the back of the pack. Go back up front to I'm Xerox. Velt still holding down the 2nd place position, so this just goes to show you the rain really makes it interesting here. This game, it really just kind of slows down the pace when it rains, so Saltman really not being able to hit as many of the big lines he probably would hope to do. Gets through that line clean, trying to make a pass, but Velt's going to have the inside. Velt checks up to hit that inside rut. It slows him up just enough for Saltman to make the pass. But Velt, no doubt he can maybe stick with Salt a little longer than he usually would here. Xerox doing exactly what he needs to do. That is correct. He is making the most out of this rain race. Saltman needs to get up there and make a pass for the hopes of his championship. Saltman did tell us he will miss the next round more than likely, so he is trying to make up every point he can on these boys to give himself maybe a big enough gap to help him out and give him a fighting chance for this championship in the final round. Vivid still with a good ride, P4. I think he'd be stoked to get a 4th here in the 450 class. Dilute Tiger in 5th, so good ride for Dilute. Was playing with Dilute a little bit this week leading up to this round, and he's been riding pretty well, I feel like. So definitely showing some improvement here, running P5, potentially get up here and make a pass around Vivid. So we'll see what he can do later in this one. But Shooter is also in that conversation. These guys really staying low on these jumps. All things considered, they're really making the most out of the conditions here. Nice line by Shooter there. Ooh, almost washes out, but saves it. Gonna go back to Strokesy, falling off a little bit in 7th. So it looks like him, Weavy, Brennan Bros, Blaze Peanut, and DC Balla all falling off the pace just a little bit, but Brennan Bros working his way through that pack in the back, making some good passes. Oh, and that is gonna be a warning for Weavy. Not quite sure if he meant to do that, but hopefully Brennan Bros is not getting that level of abuse from all these boys back there. Just needs to stay composed and make a good pass. Clean pass. Yes sir, Yoshi. Just move him out of the line, I guess. DC Balla back in 10th and Blaze Peanut in 11th. So back out front, I'm Xerox. His gap is diminishing just a little bit here. Saltman finding some lines in the rain. It's looking like it might not quit in this one. Sometimes the rain does tend to hold up later in the motos if you do get a random rain selection, but we will see what happens here. At the moment, this track is definitely slower than it would be. Velt with a great ride in 3rd. I mean, he's got this thing locked down at this point. It is quite a ways back to Vivid, who's a good, I'd say probably 12 to 15 seconds back of Velt. So Velt's got that 450 dialed and he is working. Duluth Tiger in 5th, trying to make up time on Vivid, but just goes to show you how well Vivid is riding here. Good little fill-in 450 ride for Vivid. Solid ride from Shooter as well. Not doing too bad here in the 450 class. Strokesy back in 7th, Weavy 8th, Brennan Bros 9th. So let's see if Brennan Bros can get some vengeance on Weavy. It is looking like he has a good chance to do that here. We'll see how he plays his cards. Honestly, wouldn't be mad in the slightest to see him make an aggressive pass back here. Looks like he's going to try to play it safe. Oh, and he loops out, unfortunately. Commentator's curse. DC Balla is going to reel him in just a little bit more now in 10th. Blaze Peanut in 11th still. I'm Xerox out front, and look who it is. Saltman in 2nd. He has closed the gap. So these two battling for a championship, which may very well come down to just a point or two at the end of this one. Saltman getting a nice right to left line there. He's going to have the inside on Xerox. Can Xerox shut the door? Both of them going to show some respect to each other. Saltman does make that pass though, but Xerox just going to hang back and see what he can do. It looks like the rain may have stopped. I don't see any new rain coming down, so this track will stay wet probably for another lap, maybe 2. But you can already see it's kind of drying up a little bit, so this couldn't have worked out at a better time for Saltman. Both of those guys get through that line clean. Haven't had any issues, so it seems, with those boys yet. So I'm going to be curious to see if potentially Vivid can maybe close the gap a little bit here on Velt. Nothing against Velt, but I do think Vivid has the pace to get up there with him, especially now that the track's dry. So we'll see what these boys can do. Duluth still holding strong in 5th, showing good pace, hanging with Vivid. He has not lost sight of 4th place there, but Shooter is in tow, and he is trying to make a pass. Strokes, he's still back in 7th, Weavy in 8th, and Brennan Bros falling back a little bit of those boys now in 9th. DC Ball is still 10th, and Blaze Peanut hanging out in 11th at the moment. Back up front, Saltman. Let's hang out with Saltman for a second, see what kind of lines he's got going here. So these guys going inside there. I feel like a lot of the 250s were using the sweeping lines there through those sections, kind of staying in the mid-range of the turn, maybe even going a little bit higher just to keep the momentum, because those doubles are huge. But these 450s making it look easy. Saltman clears that downhill triple with ease, opting to go inside here. Needs to be careful to keep traction, and he does. Xerox, he is hanging there with him, not losing sight of Saltman yet. So there's 4 minutes 35 seconds plus 2 left in this moto here at Richland. Xerox gets a little too hot of a drive into that inside rut there. Velt is quite a ways back in 3rd, but still a great ride for Velt. And just as I said about a lap ago, you can already tell Vivid is starting to close that gap. So, oh, and God, commentator's curse. But there is a good battle in the middle of the pack here. 4th, 5th, and 6th going at it, just like 1st and 2nd are basically. These guys are all battling it out. Shooter's going to go inside, try to make a pass. It's so hard to keep traction there. He almost makes move on Duluth. Duluth opting to go outside in the turn before that jump, clearing that double entirely. Shooter's got a nice line through there. Stays super low, right on the edge as well. So can Shooter make a pass now and try to work his way up to Vivid? We'll find out. In the back of the pack seems to be about the same, except Strokes is falling back. Brennan Bros still hanging out in the same position he was, but just a flip-flop from the guys in front of him and behind him. He's going to have to be careful. Almost goes off track there. Blaze Peanut made the pass on DC Balla, so he's going to move into 10th. But back up front, let's check on our leaders. Saltman still in control of this thing. I'm Xerox not too far back, so all it's going to take is one mistake from Saltman here, but Salt is on rails. Check on this battle for 3rd, if it's a battle yet. And oh, Vivid struggling a little bit here. It looks like Velt might be able to hold on to 3rd. He's got a pretty big gap. Vivid was closing it up. I think he had it to maybe about 10 seconds there, if I had to guess. But a couple mistakes here from Vivid, not quite used to this 450, so No doubt about it, that's definitely tough for him, but Shooter worked his way into 5th, and Dilute trying to hang on, but he has a little bit of work to do if he wants to get back up near those boys in front of him there. Weavy still holding down 7th. Strokesy looks like he makes the pass. That is going to be a warning for Strokesy. He did hit both of those lines. Not quite sure if these guys know. These were they're new to the league. I don't know if they follow us on the Instagram and Discord. I might just have to let them know after this moto. And not to sound rude, but it's not really making the hugest difference. And oh, these guys, he ran Brennan Bros high there. Needs to be careful. Oh, he goes off track. Will he be able to get back on? Hopefully he plays it clean here. I want to see these guys have a good battle. Brennan gets a little crooked there on the inside. So we'll check back in on that battle here soon. Back of the pack still hanging out the same way. Saltman out front still, and I'm Xerox doing everything he can to make it work here. Opting to hit the second inside line there. These 450s making the uphill double look easy. I was absolutely struggling to get it on the 250. Xerox likes to make those tough lines. These really tough to hit. Double jumps uphill, downhill, but it provides a very good test. And that it has done here tonight at Richland. Honestly, Yoshi, I have zero clue who it is. He's been running public lobbies. They said they're interested in racing, and they're here, so. Velt hanging out in 3rd still. Very solid ride for Velt on the Ashley Racing Team machine. So, can they get a podium? Can that team get a podium in both classes tonight? That would be something special for sure. Shout out to those boys. They're putting in the work. Shire with a 4-3 in the 250 class, taking 3rd overall. We'll see if Velt can live up to his teammates' finish here and do the same. But as I say that, I see Vivid and Shooter coming into frame on the opposite end of the track here, having a good little battle. And see if Shooter can get around him. I know these guys are kind of a pretty similar speed, I would say, so no doubt this will be a dogfight to the finish. It's going to be 3 laps to go. Field's kind of staying about the same at this stage. Saltman getting it done still, but I'm Xerox is right there. I expected Saltman to open up the gap just a little bit more, as he typically would. Now, this is where it gets tough. These guys are coming into lap traffic, so we will see how this plays a role. Unfortunately, you cannot warn people as a race director on this game, so we're just going to go off of hoping these guys have enough sense to realize that they're going to have to let the lead group by. But Saltman and I'm Xerox, 2 guys that definitely can pick their lines, and I think that they'll be able to work their way through traffic with minimal issues, barring any stupid things happening from the other guys here. Saltman will probably make the move here through lap traffic. See how he goes about this. I'm Xerox falling back just a little bit, and it looks like Blaze Peanut goes down in 11th, so no issue for Saltman getting through the lap traffic here. Let's see if Xerox can do the same. Just going to try to maybe make a calculated move here. Moves him out of the way. No harm, no foul there. Leaders coming through. Xerox needs to get up to Saltman, so Velt holding on to 3rd place. This is an incredible ride for Velt. Super stoked for that guy. If he can hold on to this thing, it's looking like he will. I don't think Vivid and Shooter will get there with 2 to go. Blue Tiger has definitely fallen off the pace a little bit, but it's not a bad ride for him in 6th. He's definitely been limiting his mistakes here. Made a couple, but we've seen him struggle later in the motos before, so good ride for Dilute. Has another moto to prove himself and maybe make up a position or 2 on the overall. Still Strokesy 7th. Brennan Bros made his way into 8th but goes down, but he's got a little bit of time on Weavy now. DC Ball is still 10th and Blaze Peanut 11th. Back out front. Speaking of DC Balla, we got Saltman coming into traffic once again. Let's see how he maneuvers his way. and he slides out. So the lap riders are working in Saltman's favor here, and it's a bummer because it's almost like Xerix is not getting that same luck so far, but he has fallen off quite a bit at this stage with 2 laps to go. You see Saltman ahead on that triple jump at the end of the roller section, so he's got a good, I'd say, 7-8 second gap now. Velt still holding on to third. He has got quite a ways back to Vivid, so Vivid will not catch him. Shooter now a little bit further back off Vivid. So late in this moto, you see everyone kind of settling into their, what looks like their final positions, just depending on what they do here. Brandon Bros gets reset. That's a bummer. And everyone's spaced out pretty good. Blaze Peanut throwing a little steez on the uphill double there. Let's check on our leader once again. Saltman is going to get the white flag here. 1 to go in 450 moto number 1 at Jgr Richland. Been an exciting moto so far. Xerix and Saltman going at it early. Unfortunately, Samuel YZB getting the reset glitch twice, so he is out of this moto. Let's see how Saltman can navigate through traffic here. Making easy work of lapping the field here, staying out of trouble. Making this downhill triple look easy. Salt just has such a good flow. His line selection is great, and it just looks like he's not even trying that hard to go fast. He doesn't have an erratic style. I mean, right there you see he throws a little kind of like a turn down whip, sets himself up for that inside rut. So he's picking his spots in the track. Shout out to Brennan Bros for moving over like a champ. Knew the leaders were coming through. Thanks, Brennan. We appreciate you, my man. Indeed, he doesn't. Saltman is riding super well, but shout out to Xerix here too, throwing down, making it happen. Good ride in second here. Sometimes I would almost rather be second in Moto 1 when it comes to battling with someone for the overall. I have no doubt if he gets a good start, depending on where Salt's at, that Xerix can run away with a moto and get a win. So no doubt he's still in this overall here. In Velt again, just a great ride by Velt here. He's been looking pretty solid, honestly, showing some pretty good pace. I mean, I know that the lead 2 boys are out in front, but I mean, Velt is showing some good speed here in Moto number 1, so curious to see if he can make it happen again in Moto number 2. Shooter made the pass on Vivid, but Vivid gets an insane drive there, playing the edges of the track well. And these guys are going to battle down the wire, but I don't want to miss Saltman getting the checkered flag, as he almost laps through all the way to 7th. So an insane ride by Saltman here. He is going to take your Moto 1 win here at Richland. Xerix is going to get across the line here. Let's see how far off he was. Just about 10 seconds. So great ride by Xerix in second. Brennan Bros obviously not in third. That would be Velt Jr. He will not make it to the line here. But let's see. It looks like Shooter and Vivid going at it. Can Vivid make a pass? Oh, and Shooter dies. He tried to scrub cancel and he didn't need to, and Vivid makes a last second pass. So let's look at the lap times here. Saltman with a 2:08.7. That's an absolute burner. Xerix in second with a 2:10.2. Velt rounding out the podium. Great ride for those boys. We are going to get Samuel back in this one. Give these guys just a minute to kind of give their hands a break, get a drink of water, go to the bathroom, whatever they need to do, and we will be back in just a second. Just a minute, guys. Waiting for Sam to join back up so he can be a part of Moto 2, and we will get started in just a moment. Reading through the comments here. Nunu, good ride, Salt and Xerox. What's up, Nunu? Good to see you in the stream, bud. Hope you can make it out for a race or two before the end of the series. Yeah, man. Those boys up front are fast. You are not kidding. These guys are the best in the game on PlayStation, without a doubt. Shooter, that was an insane battle with you and Vivid. You guys were going at it all moto. Threw it away at the last second, but nonetheless, I know you guys will be right back at it in the next one. And there we go. Samuel is in here. We're going to get this thing started. Track for tonight again. If you're just joining us on stream, Jgr Richland by I'm Xerox. Some insane battles in Moto 1 per usual with these guys. Yeah, man, we voted for clear last time, so hopefully it won't rain again on this one. We didn't want it to be that way, at least. Cool to see full lobby in both classes tonight. Honestly, the turnout this year for both classes has been very good. Been growing every year as a league and getting better and better, and better racing, I feel like, every round. So thanks again to everyone who comes out, races, and supports. And fuck you, Milestone. I'm sorry, but come on now. This is just ridiculous. Every week. Guys, again, so sorry. No control over these things. The servers are terrible. We are going to get this lobby back up and running. As soon as we get everyone in here, we will start and hopefully have no issues. Hang tight. If someone could invite DC Balla back to the match, please. I don't have him added. Can't find him. I know that he's boys with a couple of these guys in here. And just waiting on Weavy, and then we're going to get this thing started right away. Thanks again, everyone, for your patience. Glad I could give everyone a laugh there with the fuck you milestone. It's true, though. We've been dealing with this all year. It's getting so old. We try to get these things done as quick as we can, but it ends up being 2 to 3 hours every week. So hopefully no issues in this one. I mean, even just in the transitions, me voting on things, I select the vote, I hit proceed, half the time it doesn't even go for like 10 seconds. It's just not good. Gonna get hit ready here. Hopefully everyone's settings are good. Can't risk it though. Top 2 guys should start 1 minute behind. Yeah, they probably would still catch up, but title implications on the line. I don't think those guys want to risk it at this point. Xerox says, yeah, Salt and Sam. That sounds like it's good for you. Tim, what's up, man? Thanks for joining the stream. I think you're going to have to persuade him with a little more than $2. These guys have a $150 trophy on the line, which is pretty sick, so I think that's what they're gunning for more than anything. Alright guys, again, if you're in the stream and you're racing right now, be sure to just be careful in this first turn. Samuel did get hit in the last race. If you do go down in the first turn, you will get the reset glitch. So please, please, please don't go flying in there, guns a-blazing. Just try to keep it upright until you get into the next turn. Don't want anyone to get reset here. Lineup for tonight, again, Shooter, we got Samuel YZB in this one, Saltman, Weavy, Brennan Bros, Blaze, Peanut, Dilute Tiger, Vivid, I'm Xerox, Velt, DC Balla, and Strokesy. Revs are up and gates are down. Who gets the start? It's Velt with a great start here. Just look and make sure everyone gets through here cleanly. Samuel in the back, but at least everyone gets through without a reset. So let's have a good moto here. All 12 guys in play. No rain. It is a clear racetrack. It is Xerox out front, who honestly has had the best starts all year. Velt in second, Dilute third, and where's Saltman? He is in fourth. So plenty of time, obviously, but Saltman not getting a terrible start, but I'm sure he would love to be up there. He knows Xerox can run away if he doesn't start making some moves quickly. And look at Velt. If we finish as we stand, it would be a 3-2. Dilute back in fourth, and Sammy YZB in fifth. Sam lagging just a little bit, unfortunately. Hopefully he doesn't get anybody. Oh, and he's lagging so bad. Oh no. Gonna keep an eye on that. Hopefully it doesn't cost anybody. Got Vivid back here in 6th and Shooter in 7th. So those dudes had a crazy battle in Moto 1. Let's see who can get the overall out of the two of them. I think they were battling for 5th in the first one, or 4th, excuse me. So these guys are going to have a good battle. Oh, Shooter pumps the brakes, but when he does that, it almost locks up on him, and he kind of goes down there. So Vivid going to get back by around him and get into the 5th place position. Let's see if Sam's lag calms down, and he's going to get into Velt, unfortunately. Oh, that is a bummer for Velt. Velt does just need to hang out where he is. He would still have the overall as it stands for 3rd. And oh, he gets Velt there. We might have to kick Sam, unfortunately. I'm going to give it just a second, because sometimes with his Wi-Fi it just seems to be that after the first lap or two it starts getting better. But I don't want him obviously to affect anyone's race any further. So one more incident because of Sam's Wi-Fi. We will have to kick him, unfortunately. He's lagging pretty hard here. And Vivid goes down. Not quite sure if that's because of Sam or not. This is so unfortunate. Bad luck with the reset glitch in Moto 1. Unfortunately, having a hard time with connection here in Moto number 2. But Xerox and Saltman still battling it out front. So those two have definitely separated themselves as the fastest dudes on the track. Looks like Sam is still lagging pretty bad. Velt trying to make up for some mishaps on the first lap, but he's got company here. I think these guys know Sam's lagging. They're trying to stay clear of him. Oh no. It looks like Vivid got reset there. So we're gonna let Sam stay in here until something else happens. He's in title contention, so I don't want to kick him. But again, don't want him to cost anybody. But he's starting to separate himself a little bit from people, so hopefully it will just tame out here and stop shortly. And Saltman is on an absolute warpath. This is insane, the gap he has already opened up on Xerox. Mind you, Xerox, one of the fastest dudes on these games on PlayStation. Okay, I mean, this guy has won a championship, almost got himself a second one last year, and that's with some good competition as well. So, no one in this class is a dud. These guys are all straight up rippers, but it just goes to show you how good Saltman is. So Samuel's still lagging here, but again, no one directly close to him, so we're gonna let it ride for the moment. Shooter 4th, Vivid 5th, Velt 6th. Weavy back in 7th, Strokesy 8th again in this one. DC Ball in 9th, Dilute Tiger 10th. So a rough go for Dilute here. Can he work himself through traffic? You know he's faster than these guys in front of him. He just needs to be smart, make calculated passes. Blaze Peanut in 11th and Brennan Bros 12th. So tough night again for Brennan Bros, but happy to see him out. He's consistently been running the series, and I think he'll definitely be up there in points by the end of it, at least in the top 10. So shout out to Brennan Bros coming out, trying his best every single week. That's all that matters. Let's check on our leader, Saltman, on a planet of his own right now. In first, Xerox back in second. Samuel YZB now getting a little bit closer. I don't want him to ruin Xerox's race here, so hopefully these guys can stay clean. Shooter back and forth. Vivid still 5th, and Velt just couldn't really regroup after a mistake or two. Again, not really all on his account. I mean, obviously some lag issues there early in that one, but it was just one incident. He just needs to minimize the mistakes and try to charge his way up. But Vivid would give up the overall to Shooter right here, so I think if Vivid can get around Shooter, then he would actually take 3rd overall, because that would put just one more position between Velt, who was the 3rd place finisher in Moto 1. So that would be 2 podiums tonight for Vivid. Vivid is getting way faster later in the season. Definitely probably a 450 ride in store for him next year. Weavy still 7th, Strokesy still 8th, Dilute made a pass in the 9th, Blaze Peanut 10th, and DC Balla 11th. Brennan Bros still in 12th. Back out front, Saltman is opening up the gap even more on I'm Xerox, so looking like Saltman is going to get a 1-1 here tonight if things stay the same. Samuel YZB in 3rd, Shooter 4th. So good ride from Shooter. He really hasn't lost 2nd and 3rd here. So just goes to show you how deep the talent is in both classes. I feel like there's definitely probably 5 to 7 guys in the 250 class that will definitely be making their way up into the 450 class on our next series of games. Really the only reason I still run 250 is just for the sake of hosting. But I definitely could see Shooter, Vivid, Shire, obviously Young Mac, Easy Pro, all those boys bumping themselves up dynamic next year as well. That'll really kind of reset that 250 class a little bit. But Saltman a commanding lead here. Moto number 2 at Richland, 6 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Samuel YZB losing time to Xerox here, and Shooter just can't make up enough time. So even though it does look ridiculous watching Sam lag on screen, he is still on his own screen moving at a good pace, I'm sure, and it, you know, obviously is the faster rider here. So if he doesn't make any mistakes, he shouldn't rubber band into anyone forward or backwards. Just don't want to see Sam lose any more points tonight. But obviously if he gets close to costing anybody a position again, we will kick him out for the sake of someone else's moto if need be. We'll keep an eye on that. Vivid back in 5th, and it's almost like Vivid losing touch a little bit with Shooter in 4th. So these guys definitely breaking up the average top 4 here tonight. Looks like Blaze Peanut's going to call it a night early with 5 minutes left. Velt back in 6th, still quite a ways back to 7th, so no immediate concern for Velt. Dilute worked his way into 8th now. Weavy 9th. DC Balla 10th. Brennan Bros 11th. So if Brennan Bros looking to make a pass here, and he will. DC Balla gets reset. Oh, it's a bummer, man. Hope to see you out for the next couple rounds. It was good to have you guys racing with us this week. Oh, Saltman throwing a little whip there for the fans. Xerox a good 15 seconds back here, but definitely Saltman's closest competitor. And Samuel YZB. Shooter back and 4th, Vivid in 5th. So obviously rooting for my boy Vivid here to try to work his way up, get this pass on Shooter so he can get the overall podium with a 4-3, or I'm sorry, a 4-4. That would be better than Shooter's 5-5 and better than Velt's 3-6. So definitely has to make this pass here to get it done. Samuel obviously no contention for the overall, being that he was your 12th place finisher in the first one, and gets reset. That's an odd reset there. Not quite sure how he got reset, but I'm sure it's just something due to the lag. I think Vivid is a little bit closer than he was last lap. Couldn't even see Shooter on that straightaway when he's hitting that first double coming out of the turn. So Shooter in sight now. Let's see if Vivid can get it done. I'm sure he's listening to the stream, probably hears me saying what the circumstances are. Velt holding it down in 6th, kind of settling into his pace here. Not really charging forward, but great ride for him, the first one with a 3rd. So it's really going to be dependent on Vivid here, who's going to grab this final overall spot on the podium. So I'm trying to think, if Shooter finished where he's at in fourth, that would be a 5-4. So he would get the podium overall here tonight at Richland. But Vivid definitely not out of this thing. So let's see where Salt's at. Try to gauge. Oh, this is going to be close, but I think it's only going to be 3 laps to go the way the timer is going to come out. So 3 laps for these guys to try to charge, make a couple passes, and mix up these overalls. But Saltman in control of this thing. It's a no contest from anyone here tonight. No disrespect to any of these guys, obviously. Xerox is the homie. Dude is so fast, but Saltman is just on rails. Samuel YZB in third, getting still just a whole lot of lag. It looks like he's almost getting reset in that spot every lap. Shooter still back in fourth, and Vivid, I definitely think Vivid's getting closer here. See what he can do. About the same distance he was back on this section on the last lap, maybe a little bit closer. Quite a ways back to Velt, but let's check on these guys in the back real quick. Strokesy still holding down 7th. Again, I don't think those guys know about this line. I don't think any of them follow us on the socials to see in the rule, but obviously the rule tonight was to not take both of those inside lines, giving these guys a little bit of forgiveness. It's not necessarily like they're up there battling for the win. All these guys even speed here in the back, but Brennan Bros in 10th, made a couple passes. I think that might be a 10-10 for him. At least you can say he's consistent, getting points. That's all that matters. DC Baller back in 11th, and Saltman trying to work his way through lap traffic. Obviously isn't in a battle here, so should be able to navigate his way around pretty easily. DC Baller moving out of the way, I think realized what's going on here. Xerox now approaching the roller section. You're seeing a lot of these guys tonight trying to go on the outside. 450s are able to double through this section with a little bit more ease, so it's almost not as necessary to go as far outside as the 250 guys were to try to get through that section. Samuel still back in third. So just far enough back, not causing any issues here. Maybe he knows he's lagging, he's playing it conservative and just riding his own race in third. He's got a ways back to Shooter in fourth. Shooter gets reset. So it looked like Shooter was opening it up on Vivid a little bit, but at this stage, Vivid might be catching him again. We will see. It's going to be a good battle all the way down to the wire. Vivid does need him for that overall. Samuel YZB quite a ways back on Xerox now. Shooter catching up to Samuel here though with 2 to go. Unfortunately, looking like Vivid might run out of time here. Back to 6th. Velt quite a ways back. I'd say he's probably 30 seconds back off of 5th. No, maybe not that long, but definitely a ways back. And Samuel lags out. Oh no, so Shooter is going to find his way into 3rd. Vivid 4th and Velt 5th. So how does that change anything up? I don't think it would. Velt would go 3-5. Shooter would go 5-3. So even though they technically have the same moto scores, Shooter had a better one in the second, so he would get the overall. Vivid would go 4-4 with 8. So he would actually also tie those boys in moto points and take the 4th overall finish. And then it would be Velt with a 5th overall, which still solid ride for Velt if he gets it done that way. Samuel, sorry dude, it's a bummer. Hopefully you can get it squared away in the future. So Saltman gets the white flag. He just has 1 lap to go here. I definitely think Xerix will finish on the lead lap with him, but I don't think anyone else will. The pace is insane from those boys out front. Great ride for Shooter here. Again, 5-3 would earn him the overall, 3rd overall tonight. Strokesy in 6th. Oh yeah, he did benefit also from Sam lagging out. I forgot about that. So, hey, he was probably the rookie of the night, if you will, amongst all those new guys we had racing with us, putting in the best finish. I think he was 7th in the first one, 6th in this one. It might even be good enough to get him the overall, because I'm pretty sure Dilute was 6th. And he's slowing up. Not quite sure what that's about. Goes down here, so I was just hyping him up. Seemed to make a couple mistakes. Weavy back in 8th, Brennan Bros 9th. So good for Brennan Bros, also capitalizing. Looks like he might go 10-9 here. Saltman though, on a warpath, ET3 like. Charged his way to the front early, was 5th place off the start, and just worked his way up front, and he definitely earned this 1-1 tonight. Doing a little bit of stoppy action here, flexing. He might just be kind of giving it up to where these guys can all finish their lap or battle if they're in one. So props to him. And Saltman is going to get the 1-1 tonight. Congrats to Saltman on another overall win. And Saltman actually also qualified for the ESX finale, which they're going to do at an actual Supercross race this year. So stoked to have him represent JGR Team Pride and doing that. Congrats again to Salt. I'm Xerix, going to come home with a 2-2. It's going to be Shooter who's going to hold on to it. Vivid did make a good charge at the end there. But Shooter is going to take your 3rd overall position with a 5-3. Vivid will be 4th overall with a 4-4. And Velt 5th overall with a 3-5. So congrats to those top 5. Thanks again to everyone who came out and raced tonight. Richland was a sick track, had a lot of good battles. Again, I would love to do the podium interviews, but for whatever reason, it just will not work for me every time I've tried it. All my settings are set correctly, but don't know why it doesn't want to cooperate with me. So, with that being said, thanks for tuning in to the stream of the night. Thanks for coming out to race if you did, and we will see you guys for round 7 next Tuesday, same time, 8:30 Eastern. Make sure to follow us on the socials at JGR Esports League on Instagram and YouTube to keep in the loop with any updates, and we will see you guys next round.